I've been working on Arctic ground squirrels, making Yupik traditional parkas. This is going to be my fourth one. It's going to be a third adult parka. It's called Kulitak. This one is different because I don't have anything to look at to do it. So I'm just doing it by drawing it out. Kulitak is called the shoulder, and it's what my mom started in 1990-something. And she put it off, and she had it stored away. And I thought, I'm going to do this for somebody in our family. My mom and I know who it's for, and it's going to be a big surprise, and they don't expect it. The parkas like these, I don't know who else makes them. I know they're being worn. I know they're getting, old. And some of them you can't put them on again. And so I thought I need to do something. And I have a parka already. I can copy that and I can keep going from there. And that's what I started off with. At first I was afraid of making a mistake, afraid of choosing the wrong colors or doing it wrong or using wrong materials. I wanted to keep it a tradition as much as I can, but I add my own taste to them.
I'm planning on creating 2 different qaliks, men and women's qalik. They're both going to be for my parents, my father and my mother, because they didn't have a parka ever since they were kids. I feel like they really mourn for something that's, that was created for them from their parents, from my grandparents. Something honoring, something special for me to, be producing for them. And I'm really excited for the designs that I'm producing. This design is one of the designs that I created for my family. I want people to see this design and recognize it. Oh, this is Golga's family's design. And if any of my family members, if they were to wear a parka, if they had this design, oh, they're from the Oscar family. That immediate Oscar family, like my family. So then I'm trying to revitalize family symbology designs through geometric designs.
This is a multi-layers of fur, so I'm looking at how they put the fur, how they laid it down, if they tacked it. So like she didn't tack it, and I was taught not to tack. Some people do. So I'm just looking at like how her technique is when it comes to like the sunshine ruff, what type of material she's using. Like she's using a stiff naloak, so I noticed that. So just basically looking at the patterns and like I could feel it, that I know that this is like fish skin, right? But there's up here, this is like felt, so like what she's using for that part. And then I see like how skilled she is by like making sure that all of the fur is going the same way. So I'm touching it. Okay, yeah, that's a skilled seamstress, right? I'm just feeling, I want to do shik heads for my daughter's parka. So I'm just like looking at how she did it. All the heads that she used and like the shape. So I was waiting to see this one so that I could start working on her. This is very intimidating part, is the hood. And it's funny because nobody really sees it. And it's covered by all this fur, but it's like the most intricate part, other than the kupuks. These are hundreds and hundreds of pieces, but I did it before on an adult one, so I could do it again. And I don't think the kid ones, they weren't like this fancy, but I want it to be like a replica of mine that I made.
The skill of being able to snare a ground squirrel, to process and tan them, those are all skills that are being lost. It's been probably about 60 years since women did that traditionally, maybe more. Many of us don't know how to set the snares. We had an elder that showed us how through this project, so we went out to snaring and we learned how to make a traditional snare and then how to set it. And we're hoping that through this project that we will be able to take kids out. So that's where Beth comes in. She's writing the curriculum. We envision a camp where it's a language immersion camp, and we teach these skills of snaring the ground squirrels, processing them, how we eat them, what do we do, and then taking care of the skins or the hides, tanning them, and then the last part, making something with them. So utilizing all of the ground squirrel and also adding that language to this, the cultural view and the cultural importance of we call it kuncha. I mean, 60 years since we've had a camp where kids have participated and where women snared the kuncha, like that could be lost. Like we need to be able to pass that on because there is a lot of good wisdom in that and a lot of good skills, mountain traveling and all kinds of good things that we could teach the children and the mythology that goes with it. It's really rich.
It's valuable to look at what we have had in the past. I think that enhances our understanding of our ancestors. Just being able to appreciate what they did and what they had to do for us. The first thing I think about often is who the person that wore it, who is the person that it was made for. And then I also think about the sewer, the seamstress who made it. What did she have to do to think about these designs, putting it together? I think the overall process of putting something together as beautiful as some of these pieces, that's the message you should get, not exactly what does this little square means. It's so much more than a label. It's knowing how women might have worked together, how one woman was very resourceful, or how maybe a couple families might have helped each other because they were each finishing their own fancy parka. So knowing that type of history is so important.
I'm really proud of the other folks because they're learning as well. And it's good to hear that they're as enthusiastic as I am to work on squirrel parkas.